Hello, I'm Holly Patrick and I'm a senior journalist at North Star Meetings Group, and today I'm delighted to be chatting to Anna-Marie Trzebinski, who is the CEO and founder of AMTEvents, and we're going to be talking about the changing trends of conference fashion, which is very exciting. So thank you for coming to chat with me today.
Thanks, Holly.
So let's start. How has conference fashion, trade show, exhibition fashion evolved? What have you seen?
Well, I definitely think that now that we've seen more of a movement to working from home, people have to think a little bit differently when they suddenly need to address a client, or they're heading into London, heading into the office. They're not as used to doing that automatically, and there's a bit more thought about personality injected to making an impression and connecting with the workplace. So I think the trends coming through are definitely the comfortability factor, whereas corporate has always been very much related to suits and possibly more neutral colours. We've got bright colours coming out, which are helping people to stand out and give them that lift of spirit and mood and energy. We have the trend of making sure that authenticity is there in people's dress, and if they're putting on that suit, that's not necessarily right for everybody. Mm-hmm. So it's maybe dressing a nice smart jacket with a more comfortable wearing shoe, or a pant that is a little bit more casual. Yesterday we were walking the show floor and we saw a few gentlemen with t-shirts because it made them feel more comfortable than a buttoned up shirt and tie. So definitely the comfortability factor and the authenticity coming through.
So what do you think is behind this trend in maybe being a little bit more smart casual than business smart?
So I think it's all about relating to people's clients and people's business presentation. As clients change their dress, you equally want to match their mood. If you're working with a corporate, you might want to go more professionally smart. Whereas if you're working with somebody that is dressing down, maybe their office goes in jeans, you feel more comfortable to then dress that way. But I think it's definitely about audience engagement and considering always being professional. So making that mark and that difference between your day wear to your professional, but then always keeping it authentic.
So I would say, and I mean, I've been in this industry for 5 years, and I think about 2.5, 3 years of that was the COVID pandemic. So we weren't meeting, people were at home a lot. But before the pandemic, people were, especially obviously women, were wearing heels at trade shows. Not everybody, but if you spotted the odd trainer, it was often with a very smart suit, a very smart tailored suit, or, it just worked. And now we see a lot of trainers, everybody wearing trainers. Smart sometimes trainers. Not so smart, but nobody seems to bat an eyelid. So are trainers acceptable now, would you say?
I think they're, again, coming to a social responsibility and looking after our guests, our employees. When we're coming to trade shows in particular, exhibitions, we're doing a lot of walking. There are, lots of medical issues. If you're not treating your feet well, especially being in events, it's going to cause you issues. So I think actually allowing a trainer a flat shoe, it's not taking away from your professional stamp or impression, but it is enabling everybody to feel more comfortable, stand for greater lengths of time, walk the halls without being in pain. And ultimately, if you have a guest or a delegate or an exhibitor in heels all day, they may leave before the end of the show because they're just not comfortable. So I think it's more acceptable, and definitely from when it comes to smarter shoes, I would say it's better to go for the smarter, cleaner trainer. Always do your trainer clean before you head out the door, but definitely more acceptable now.
So what other sort of trends do you think are upcoming? I mean, I know we're recording this at the meeting show in June, and you've been out on the show floor asking people what they're wearing, what do they feel comfortable in, and as a stylist as well, what sort of trends are you seeing emerging?
So there's definitely the sustainability factor coming through. Just to mention a few: Vinted, Depop, eBay, charity shops. I think charity shops were always popular before, but now they've become a trend. I think a lot of people are really digging in and finding little treasures and pieces that they know other people aren't going to have because they were from 5-10 years ago perhaps. So I definitely think that everybody is reinvesting in fashion sustainably. Fast fashion is definitely a thing of the past. It's about buying classic pieces, especially for your professional wardrobe, to make you feel comfortable, and that sustainability factor is super important when it comes to picking the right pieces. So really looking at what colours work for you, what makes you feel good. Why wear something if it doesn't make you feel good? Don't keep it in the wardrobe, lose it, kick it out, let somebody else wear it, take it to a charity shop. And walking the show floor, I definitely think that came through yesterday. The other thing that came through was, and I found this quite surprising, how people kind of seem to cower a little bit when they're a bit embarrassed because it's not Prada or Burberry or Tom Ford, or, it's there was M&S, Sainsbury's, and it's actually, we've had that answer today many times, and they should be proud of it. We like to make sure that our money can go that extra mile. They have great products, there's great prints, they have a real professional look on all of their pieces. So I think it was just interesting to see people's reaction. They should be standing proud, and it's great to see a real range of mix and matching brands.
Absolutely. I mean, it wouldn't do us any good if we all just dressed the same out there, would it?
No.
Which was definitely a thing of the past,
Yeah.
And I really am just sort of generalising here, but men in black and grey suits and women in dresses and heels. And actually, the diversification out there now is so wonderful to see, and there's so much inspiration on the show floor, which is great. And we've been speaking about this for a little while as well, and we spoke to someone yesterday who said, I no longer have a separate wardrobe. I don't have my work wardrobe and then my home wardrobe, leisure weekend wardrobe. She said it's mixed, and that's lovely because that's bringing her personality, like you said, her authentic self to work. It is.
We did also have one person that said, I like to keep it separate, and I think that's interesting, and I think the message there is what works for you is what's best. If you do need to put that professional layer on to give you that new boost of energy, and go for it, and that's what works for you. It's about the bespoke factor. And I think, like you said, when it comes to colour as well, it's really interesting. People are wearing brighter colours for the mood factor, but also to make them stand out, especially at events. If you are attracting a delegate or a new client, supplier, you need to stand out from the crowd. And another influence and kind of inspiration I've seen from that is women actually in Parliament.
Yes.
So they purposefully wear block colours so that they can stand out, because when everybody's got their hand up and they have a question, it actually gives them a good advantage. It is a little bit more difficult for men to dress in bright colours, especially in such a corporate environment.
Yeah.
But I think it really depends what industry you're in. It is very acceptable in different industries. So it's about what works for you, what works for your brand, what works for your environment and your audience.
Absolutely. Anne-Marie, thank you so much for chatting with me
Holly.
today. It's been fantastic talking about
you.
fashion. I love it that it's on the agenda.
Yeah.
Let's just see where these trends go and see what happens and how conference fashion evolves.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thanks very much.
Look forward to come back next year.
Absolutely. We'll have you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Holly. Bye. Bye.